Breaking news, President Trump's pick for the U.S. Supreme Court, Judge Neil Gorsuch, is going through an all-day confirmation hearing up on Capitol Hill, making it clear he has made no promises to the president about his future rulings. We're back with Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah. He's a key member of the Judiciary Committee. Senator, during your questioning, you made a joke today about politics at play here. Let me play this clip.
You as a textualist understand as well as anyone where the word politics comes from. You break that word down into its two Greek roots. You've got poly, which means many, and ticks, which are blood-sucking parasites. It works out.
On a serious note, though, Senator, do you think the Democrats will actually filibuster Judge Gorsuch, which means it would require 60 votes to get him confirmed?
Look, that'll be up to them, and what objections they might choose to raise, that's entirely in their court. What I do know is that this is a phenomenal judge. This is a judge who's served really well on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. That's a court that includes Utah. It's a court I've argued in front of many times. I've even argued in front of Judge Gorsuch. This is a judge who is exceptionally well prepared for the Supreme Court, just as he's exceptionally well prepared for every case that he hears argument. And I think that he's going to be confirmed one way or another.
Well, when you say one way or another, you think Republicans would actually use what's called the nuclear option and break that filibuster by insisting that a 51 simple majority is all you need to confirm the nomination of a Supreme Court nominee?
We don't know that that's even going to be necessary to consider that at this point, because there's still a very possibility, I would say perhaps even a likelihood, that we'll have more than 60 Democrats who will vote for him and who will even support cloture on moving forward. And so that's what we're looking forward to, is letting Judge Gorsuch continue to make his case to the American people, and especially his case to the people in the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Before I let you go, Senator, a quick reaction. Yesterday we heard the FBI director, the National Security Agency director, both say there is no information that supports the president's tweets on wiretapping, claims that President Obama wiretapped Trump Tower to listen in on his conversations. Does the President Trump, now owe President Obama and the American people, for that matter, an apology for that very grave accusation?
Look, I still don't know what he was talking about. I think it's very clear that there was not a Title III traditional wiretap. What I've still what I've wondered from the very beginning, and I'm still wondering, is whether there might have been an order pursuant to Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, in which there was some incidental U.S. person communication swept up, including some communication involving one or more members of the Trump campaign. I would like to know that.
He had 4 tweets, as you know, Senator, that Saturday morning, 17 days ago. One of them terrible. Just found out Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. Is it legal for a sitting president to be wiretapping a race for president prior to the election, turned on by court earlier? A new low. I could go on. He was very clear in what he was saying, and now after a thorough investigation by the Department of Justice, the FBI, the National Security Agency, they say there's no evidence to back up any of that.
Yeah, look, if there was absolutely no truth to any of it, if there was nothing, either in terms of a traditional wiretap or something under Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, then yeah, he shouldn't have said it. But again, I'd like to know what he actually meant. One of the things that I've worried about for a long time is abuse of the FISA court process. I talk about this a lot in a book I wrote called Our Lost Constitution. I talk about the fact that in every presidential administration, at least starting with FDR and all the way up through Nixon, there was documented proof of the administration utilizing the intelligence gathering apparatus of the federal government to engage in political espionage. This shouldn't be allowed to happen. We know that it has happened at times in the past, and since that study was done that I cite in my book, there's been a lot of technological advancement which, if left unregulated and unrestricted, could be used for nefarious political purposes. And I think we all have reason to be concerned about that.
But, Senator, I'm going to wrap it up. But just for the record, not only the FBI, the Department of Justice, the National Security Agency, but the Republican leadership in the House and the Senate, the Republican leadership in both of the intelligence committees in the House and the Senate, they've all said exactly the same thing. There's no evidence to back up anything. So it's a little confusing why you're not yet ready to accept that conclusion.
Yeah, what I've heard them say, and there could be more that I'm not aware of, Wolf, and if that's the case, then forgive me. What I've heard them say is that there was no wiretap. I understand that there was no Title III wiretap. Well, what I still want to know is whether there was incidental communication that he was referring to that could have been swept up under Section 702.
But that's not what the president said in those tweets, but I'll leave it on that.
Imprecise. So, yes, it could have been imprecise.
It was more than imprecise.
Yeah.
How low has President Obama gone? He tweets, how low has President Obama gone to tap my phones during the very sacred election process? This is Nixon Watergate, bad or sick guy. He was very, very precise in those 4 tweets, and as of yesterday, the White House still, after all of this, is not moving away from that. They're standing firm, but I'm not going to press you on that anymore. We'll leave it on that note. Always good to have you here in the Situation Room. Senator Mike Lee, thank you.